Constitution, we are required to have a balanced budget on July 1st. Yeah, and as you know, oftentimes that doesn't happen because there is a wide gap between the governor's spending proposal and where we actually are financially with revenues coming in for the state. So that creates a challenge for us. We're looking at roughly a spending proposal from the governor of about $51.5 billion, roughly about $3.5 billion more than what we have right now as far as revenue projections. So that creates a real challenge for us, and we're also obligated to pay some things related to Medicaid or Medicare, excuse me, and some other things that we know we're going to have to pay for. So it creates some unique challenges for us going into this budget cycle because we are going to have to find some new revenues, which is why, from our standpoint, we have been pushing, unleashing our energy industry, finally getting rid of the regional greenhouse gas initiative and anything else that looks like that, so that we can bring some revenues back to the state, bring jobs back, and grow our economy to meet those needs that we have as far as funding.
You just said something very key, getting rid of Reggie and anything else that looks like that, because Governor Shapiro has put his own plan out there that looks just like Reggie from a lot of standpoints.
Which leaves many of us scratching our heads, because anyone in the industry, any expert, anyone in energy production, anyone really who flips a light switch and expects the lights to come on should be against these proposals, because they tax the energy market. They have already put baseload energy out of business, at least here in Pennsylvania. And at a time when, we see so many demands for energy with the data centers that are coming online, the use of AI, electric vehicles, and even, the growth of buildings and facilities need electricity. And if we're messing with the baseload energy on things like Reggie and the governor's other proposals, which in my opinion are worse than Reggie because they are Pennsylvania specific, we simply are going in the wrong direction.
Well, that being the case, as you think about it, the excitement that came with the announcement of the Homer City project, Homer City redevelopment project, that whole energy campus, and now that excitement part has to be put away, and the hard stuff starts. Getting the place built,
right,
and removing whatever regulatory restrictions might be placed upon it, so that it can be operated efficiently. The idea that that cropped up last week from a number of different sources that said that even with that project as big as it is, it's still not going to meet the energy demands. That just boggles the mind that that much power is going to be required of us. Here we are right now today dealing with power outages.
Yep.
What if that becomes a regular part of the routine? Power brownouts and blackouts, because in California it is that way now.
It certainly is, and I think this shows people just how important having that energy source there when you need it is vital to how we function in our society. And the fact that we are not having enough baseload energy online right now should concern everyone. Again, that's why our standpoint as Republicans, our Republican caucus in the House, has been saying for many years now, if we have all these natural resources under our feet, why are we not getting government out of the way, incentivizing even natural gas production, the building of power plants, utilizing the natural resources we have here in Pennsylvania, again, to supply that base load energy to grow jobs and to grow our economy? It's a no-brainer for most of us. That's why we often wonder why the governor continues to push the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, which is going to be before the state Supreme Court here, I believe, the second week of May.
Yeah, it's really going to be an important thing. We're going to be watching that with bated breath.
I will be in the room myself, personally.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
It's that important to me and to Pennsylvania.
It's an energy issue, but it's a larger issue as well. It's a governmental balance issue as well. Should a governor be able to bypass a legislature for anything, whether you're Republican or Democrat? You have an initiative that you want to get going that you think is the best thing, but let's bypass the legislature because they're not going to like it.
Well, and I think that's the fundamental argument that's being played out here, Todd, is whether you are agree or don't agree with Reggie or any other policy like that, the governor should not have the power to unilaterally enter into a multi-state compact and create a tax. Only the General Assembly can create a tax. And most expert opinions, all the courts up to this point, have determined that Reggie is in fact a tax, and the governor does not have the authority to enact a tax. That has been our argument all along. the governor could have just let it go away when the case was decided in the lower courts, but he continues to appeal it now, and it's come to the Supreme Court. So hopefully this will be the end of it, and we will see it go away, and then we can get Pennsylvania back to where it needs to be as an energy exporter, one of the top ones in the world.
So you posit that as, of course, one of the great puzzle pieces to solve our revenue problem in Pennsylvania. Right. As those budget talks have continued, you mentioned the governor's proposal is $51 billion?
Yes,
almost. It wasn't so long ago that we said, wow, we just passed a $36 billion budget. Mm-hmm. Who would have ever thought that would happen in Pennsylvania? Well, now we're $15 billion above that.
Right. And I think the other side of that is we have to look at what we're spending money on. A lot of things are mandates that perhaps we shouldn't have to force on entities like our school districts as we continue to escalate funding for public education. And we do need to fund education, but we need to make sure we're doing it in the right way and that we're not overburdening them with mandates and things that really, in some cases, aren't necessary. We also need to, streamline our regulatory process for businesses. Again, getting to things like the power plant. We were fortunate with the Homer City redevelopment project that, we were able to get those permits in place quickly because a lot of that infrastructure was already there. And I think that in that case, the DEP did expedite some of those processes, but that is not the norm. And what happens is a lot of these entities, which are global entities, get frustrated with the slow processes we have here in Pennsylvania as far as permitting, and they simply take their investment elsewhere.
Yeah. All right. School funding, you mentioned that a second ago. The charter school thing is really a burr under the saddles of our area school districts. Our school boards have all signed on to the protest letters to the legislature.
Yes.
They say the legislature needs to be a part of this process, find a solution to charter school funding that does not place the burden upon the public schools. Where do we stand in that?
I'm obviously very supportive of our local public schools. I've met with several of them to talk about this specific issue. I think we do have to have some sort of level when it comes to charter schools. The amount that our school districts are paying is simply exorbitant. When there are other choices, obviously, I think school choice is important because the standard public school isn't right for every student. But we also have to make sure that our public schools are able to afford those costs. So that's going to be part of the discussion. I'm 100% certain. School choice is big for our caucus and really for the other side of the aisle, because I know schools in Philadelphia, for example, and in Harrisburg are struggling. And I think a lot of the constituents around this Commonwealth want to have alternative choices for their students and for their children. And we think that every student should have the right to a good education no matter where you live.
All right, 1st of May, and we've got work to do in Harrisburg. You've got some local things going on as well.
I do, yeah. We will be hosting our 2nd annual Veterans Breakfast on May 23rd at the Elks. It's free for veterans. Simply call the office, 724-465-0220, or go on repstruzzi.com and register. We're going to have a great lineup of speakers, some great food, and we want to honor and respect our veterans. So I'd encourage them all to come out on it's Friday, May 23rd, that's the Friday before Memorial Day.
Yeah, and of course you'll be all about the district as much as you can. I know Harrisburg will take a lot of your attention, but you get out there. We get your weekly email, and you're there.
Well, I'm here to help, here to listen, and I've got a lot of work to do in Harrisburg, but we always take care of the people in the district.
Representative Jim Struzzi, thanks for the visit.
Thanks for having me, Todd.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Fox News is coming next at the top of the hour. We follow that with news from our WCCS newsroom with Josh. We're 2 minutes away from 9.
Hey, Indiana County. Want the latest local news, sports, weather, and obituaries delivered straight to your inbox, free of charge? It's simple. Just log on to WCCSradio.com and look for the box to sign up now. You will start receiving the daily news